Everyone wants to make an impact in the world, especially in the spiritual industry. People talk about consciousness, awareness, living our purpose, and all of these wonderful things. But I have noticed that there's a kind of resistance to structure, to tools, sometimes to technology, certainly to AI. But I think that this is the reason that the industry hasn't been able to grow. And I think that there's this kind of belief that structure is sort of unspiritual, that if you have structure, then you lose the magic of what you do. And other things I think are celebrated, like flow and intuition and surrender. And not to say any of that's wrong, because I fully believe in living in a flow state as much as possible. But the problem is that without structure, you can't really have growth. And so we are trying to build something with impact that really changes humankind towards a better world, but we're not willing to do it in a sustainable way. And I think that the confusion comes where people think that structure doesn't allow them to be their authentic selves and to go with the flow and just let spirit guide. And I think that these two can definitely be merged. I think there's also a belief that structure means control. And I think it's the opposite. Structure is the container where we can relax and that where we can give off of our best selves instead of trying to do something that isn't perhaps our strongest asset. Many spiritual practitioners that I talk to wonder why their business can't scale or why their impact can't grow as much as they'd like. And it's not that they're not talented at what they do, because I've met some of the most talented people in the spiritual world who are really bad at running their businesses. And the thing is that to grow our impact, we need to have systems in place. We can't just live day to day, go with the flow and see how we feel. We actually need systems that work, that automate, that do it for us, so that we can be in that right space to give of ourselves with the best platform below us possible. Consciousness without infrastructure, it kind of drifts. And infrastructure without consciousness eventually collapses. So we need both, right? Why do we have this resistance to structure? Part of the issue is that structure requires clarity, and clarity requires responsibility. We need to think about what our values are, what are our standards, what are our boundaries in order to fit into a structure or create our own structure. And that's uncomfortable. It's not easy. It requires thoughtful effort. We all enjoy being fluid with life, but fluid without form, it just evaporates. And now is the time when we need to consciously create, when we need to be building the systems of the future. If we don't build them, somebody else will. And we want people that are conscious, that are aware, and that really have good intentions when we build the systems of the future. I think that we need lots of solid containers for awareness to grow and thrive. If you have a powerful business that brings healing into the world, you deserve structure. You deserve systems. You deserve assistance. You deserve ease, but ease that comes from doing the work in the first place. I would hate for anybody's potential to not have the impact that it can have. I would hate for my potential to not have the impact that I can have. And this is why I am leading this company. I feel strongly about where we are in this moment in history, how important it is that conscious people are involved in the discussions of what's being built. And I want to leave this earth knowing that I had the biggest impact with the tools that I had and with the the skills that I was put here to gift to the world. I think that spiritual maturity is not just about the depth of your insight, but it is about participating in something that's sustainable and long term. So the question isn't, is structure unspiritual? The question is, am I responsible and strong enough to step into that power to create the future that I want for my children and their children? And of course, responsibility means discipline. And discipline is not unspiritual either. Discipline is devotion. Discipline is commitment to what you came here to do. I think if we're really serious about raising human consciousness, we need to build containers that are strong enough to support that. And that requires structure.